Well, good afternoon, my stitchy friends. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I thought we would do a bit of a stitch with me, and yeah, this is a test, really, of my recording a video ahead of time and then putting it up to YouTube. I did a little bit of a live stream yesterday to see how that works. So I wanted to do a pre-recorded video to see how this works. So before I start stitching, I did want to share with you and answer a question that a viewer had asked me, and that was, how can I tell what size needle I have? Well, in surfing the internet a little bit and going on 123 Stitch, there is this package that you can get off 123 Stitch, and it is needle ID cards. Okay, so it's a pack of different cards. There we go. That will tell you what size needle you have. So I'm just going to pull the one for the tapestry needles. And as you can see, there's pictures of the different sizes of tapestry needles. Let's see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. Again, a new setup here. So you would just lay your tapestry needle on, there we go, on the size that you think it is, or you would keep laying it on the different sizes until you're able to identify which size. So it goes from a size 18 all the way down to a 28. So handy little tool that we have here. So I thought I'd let you all know that this is available, and it really was very inexpensive on 123 Stitch, and you can find it there. So it comes in a nice little pack. There are different cards for different types of needles. So there's chenille, there's betweens, there's milliners, crewel needles, sharps. So a lot of different kinds, and all you do is you lay your needle on the card, and that will help you identify what your needle is. Now, the other thing I found while I was looking for these, because I knew these were available, I just had to figure out where they were, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the price. I just remember they were not very expensive at all. But the other thing I found was a cross-stitch key, and it is a ruler. But on this ruler, it has, I can get it right here. Get the right angle. There we go. It has your corners so that you can do your 1, 2, or 2.5 inch corners. It has an area where it will help you determine what count fabric that you have, and that goes up the side. Plus, in the center there is a reference that will also tell you how many strands of floss and what size needle to use on the different counts of fabric. So that's a pretty handy little thing. And the top, there's an actual ruler where you can measure. So I found this to be quite handy for, people that have trouble deciding, oh, how many strands of floss do I use, or what count fabric do I have, and to mark your corner starting positions. So it's all in one, a nice little tool. So that's also out there. And again, I got it on 123 Stitch. And let me see if oh, okay. Here we go. It's called, comes like this. It's a cross stitch cloth counter, ruler, corner guide, and reference guide. And again, I don't remember what it costs. I just remember that both of these were not too much more than, well, no, I got something else. So it was a little bit more than the shipping, but they weren't very expensive at all. So those are out there for you if you need some help with how to determine your fabric, how to determine what size needle, and all that other good stuff. Okay, so let's do some stitching. Are you ready? I'm going to pull my frame around here, and I'm going to, here we go. Here we go. We're going to switch my cameras, and here we are. Pull my camera down a little bit. Oh, don't mind my hand. And get you. Oh, no, wait, I have the wrong scene here. Sorry about that. There we go. Try this. There we are. Much better. Much better. Okay. Now, as you can see, let's zoom out a little bit. We're working on Fred, Sir Frederick Frosty. And yeah, let's see how much we can get done today. So let's zoom back in here. So you can, oops, wrong way. And someone also asked me what camera I'm using. Well, that's a little bit of, well, not really a little bit of a story, but oh, here we go. This little, I need to get a better arm to hold this because it doesn't always want to stay. I was using my Logitech Brio, and as a lot of you who have been around for a while have noticed, I was having a fair amount of problem focusing that and getting it to focus in when we wanted something up close and personal. So, okay, pardon my arm. Let's go a little closer here. There we go. So I decided to try just using my phone. And in all honesty, folks, my phone gives me a far better picture than the Brio does. So that's what I've been using until, you know, such time as there's finances to be able to get a better camera at some point in time, you know. And I have been, you know, checking around, checking prices and to see what, you know, what's out there, what is the best camera to use, because for this camera I need, well, I don't need, because I can always use my phone, but I want something that is going to be able to zoom in, get up close and personal, and give you a clear picture, especially for when I'm showing you how to do something. So I think that was Linda was asking about the camera. So I mean, that's what I use at this point in time. I'm just using my phone, and I am much happier with that. Now, if you use your phone, the one thing you got to remember is to change it so that it doesn't auto lock on you while you're trying to record a video. I did that a couple times where, okay, we're recording here, whether it be, you know, just a recorded one or whether it be a live stream, and the next thing you know, my phone is like black. It turned off. So you have to remember to set it so that the display doesn't go off. And the other thing you got to remember, and now that I say this, I realize I did not do, is it's best to put it on airplane mode so that it doesn't give you all the alerts and stuff. So I will apologize in advance if you hear any dinging of anything, notifications that come through, because yeah, I kind of did forget to turn that on airplane mode. Um, However, the elections in Pennsylvania are over, so I shouldn't be getting any more political phone calls. My goodness, I tell you how many. I was getting 3, 4, 5 a day. And then not only was I getting the phone calls, I was getting text messages. It's like, oh man. Oh, sorry for that noise. Little kids going past in their little souped up hot rods all the time. All the time. So my apologies if you pick up that noise. And if you hear an unusual car horn, oh my goodness, there's someone that comes to visit across the street and they blow this horn. Sounds kind of like a train, and it scares the bejeepers out of me every time they do that. One of these times it's going to give me a heart attack because you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden it's this ungodly loud noise. So hopefully you won't hear that this time either, but one never knows. I can't predict. I can't predict at all. So what are you guys working on today? Hopefully you're getting some stitching done. If you watched my live stream yesterday, where I was testing out the live stream, you probably heard that my arm has improved somewhat. It still just depends on if I overuse it or if I position it, I guess is the best word, in the wrong direction, then oh my. But I was at the doctor yesterday. Oh, here comes the air conditioner. Oh, good. It's not going to pick that up. I was at the doctor yesterday, and because from the time I initially injured it until I went back to the doctor for a recheck, there has been improvement. We decided that at this point, we're just going to watch it and see what happens. If there is no further improvement, then they'll probably recommend physical therapy, because there's just no surgery that is successful for this kind of thing. I mean, it is, if the tendon isn't completely torn, it's pretty much frayed and working on being torn. And the most they would do is go in and snip the one end of the tendon. And I have probably done that already. And I said, I probably caused a lot of this, was my own doing, because, you're stitching. I stitch so much that constant repetitive motion when you hold the hoop in or the Q snap in one hand, and your right hand is going and pulling up, and then it goes underneath and pulls down, and that back and forth movement probably caused some fraying of the tendon. And when I picked up the cat, it really was just some icing on the cake. It was the last straw, or how should we say, the straw that broke the camel's back. So it was the straw that caused the tendon to tear. So, as I said, it's just a watch and wait game now. And you know what? I'm perfectly okay with that because I really, really, really don't want to go under the knife again. And I don't want to have my arm laid up for however many weeks afterwards where I wouldn't be able to use it. It'd be in a sling and yada, yada, yada. So, I was perfectly fine with that. And really, what it's going to amount to is just make some accommodations. You know, instead of holding the hoop in my hand or the Q snap in my hand, it now will always be on one of my frames, and I will stitch two-handed. That way I can keep sorry about that. Just these crazy people that drive past here like a bat out of HE double hockey sticks. But I can keep my right hand either on top or underneath. And really, then the only thing I'm moving is my wrist. I'm not moving. Uh, sorry, I'm counting as well as yakking here. Oh, I'm not moving my upper arm where I tend to have the discomfort. And I'm not moving my shoulder where I also have the discomfort. And he said I might have just torn some of my rotator cuff also. So we shall see. Make some accommodations. And, in essence, it's just one of those things. You'll learn to live with it. And you adjust how you do some things. And, it is what it is. Absolutely just is what it is. So that's what we're doing. That's the story on the arm. Um, I'm not upset with that. It's fine. We'll make some accommodations and so be it. Oh, sorry, I needed a drink. So I think I need another piece of thread here and need to get some things out of the way so I can get it. Oh, I know. Some of you have also asked about this new Floss system that I'm using, and I will show you that. It is, I got it on Etsy from a store called Floss Anthology. If you would like the link, let me know and I will send you the link. But it's FlossAnthology. And what it is, it's pages that have little channels in them. And here we go. Let me, oh, this is so much easier than that other camera. There you go. So you have little tags, sticky tags that you put your floss through. You feed it up the channel, and one of these pieces come with it. And this is what you put down through the channel. You hook your floss onto the end, and pull it up, and then you put the tag on, and the tag has a little pocket up here at the top that it fits in. Okay. And then when you want to, when you need a piece of, say, that color, you just use your needle and you pull off one thread at a time. And then what I do is, if I have extra that I didn't need, then I just take my needle and I run it under the little loop in the tag and just have it hang right there, so that when I need that color again, I can just pull that extra piece out and use that up first before I pull a whole new piece out. Now, these are about 18-inch lengths of floss is what I have on here. So this is the single page, and it comes to about, well, I think it's like 50 centimeters. So I think that comes to somewhere around 18 inches. You can get a double page where there's an opening here, and then there's a whole nother 50 centimeter length, so that if you want longer strands of floss, and then when you're not stitching, that second half folds up onto, it just folds up onto this, and you can put it in your notebook or however you choose to use them. I like the notebook idea because I also put a little pocket in the front. Now this has the stuff that I use to adjust my nerd stand, but depending on the size of your piece, now this stocking isn't very big, so it works well. I can take the stocking out of the hoop, fold it, and put it in this little pocket pouch that's on the front. Here's my piece of plastic that I use to wrap my thread around to cut my lengths of floss. Then I have a page here to tell me what all these colors are for. And then this is, well, the Christmas stocking. So it's a heaven and earth design, and it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit of the 7th page. So that fits very nicely in a 1-inch binder. And that's how I do it. So when I edit, I'm actually going to edit this video, guys. That has to be a first, don't you think? Normally what you see is what you get, but I will do a little bit of editing here, and I will put the name of the Etsy store in the video so that you can find it. But I personally just really like them. It has the feel of thread drops, but they're contained so that they don't get all tangled. And for me, that was the biggest draw to my not really wanting to use thread drops, was the fact, or to use the like the Low-Ran cards that have the holes in and you can write the numbers on, or the plastic organizers that you can loop your thread onto, or even the Payco organizers. The thing I didn't like about all of those was the fact that everything got so tangled up or knotted together. And even though you're trying to, I tried to like run my fingers through it periodically so that it didn't do that. But yeah, that didn't work very well. I still got they still got tangled for me. So this I thought was like the wonderful alternative. And you know what? Floss away bags, I had it in those. And yes, those are nice. And your thread doesn't get tangled and all of that good stuff with those. However, I was always having to flip through 80 or 90 bags. And then you'd have to pull off the amount you want, cut it, pull your one strand. And this way, yes, you have prep work. You have a fair amount of prep work, but once it's done, it's done. And you don't have to do it again. Unless you run out of thread and you need to put more in there. And I do believe that I tried undoing one of the tags from the floss, like when the floss was empty, and I was able to do that. So I think you could reuse them. Now, I don't know how many times you could reuse them, but I think you should be able to reuse them. So, it's, again, I have no affiliation. It's just something that I like. And you guys all know that if I like something, I'm gonna tell you about it. And whether you choose to try it or say, yeah, no, that's not for me, that's okay. That's all perfectly fine. Oops, sorry about that. Bump things. But I do like to tell you what's out there and what is available. Okay. Really should stop here a second and mark my chart before I before I lose my place. Because as you see, I did kind of sort of go back to the diagonal, but I'm not doing it row by row. And today I'm having the issue with all of this. It's not bringing me joy. So I probably should not have started this new thread, and I probably should have just picked another park thread to work in. Now I'm going to bump this because I have to reach up here to my tablet. So yeah, so I'm back to the kind of sorta staying in the diagonal, but working a color as far as my thread will go, or until there are no more, or if I, like now, I started another thread of this color, but that's okay because I'm fine with that because I really don't have that many more stitches. And then this color is done in this area. So, there's nothing wrong with switching up your technique, the way you stitch. And one day maybe you want to stitch one way, and the next day you want to stitch it a different way. And seriously, nobody's going to know unless they can see the back of your work and see that, oh, yeah, here she stitched this way, but look, she changed it. And here she stitched this way. There's nothing wrong with that. You guys know that. We've been this road before. And for me, in all honesty, I do like staying within a diagonal. But to work my thread until I either have no thread left in my needle or I run out of that symbol to stitch is really my preferred way. And you know what? I know I am the one who says, okay, guys, it keeps your stitching neater when you stitch row by row, and you're always coming up in an empty hole, and you're going down in holes that are already occupied by probably 2 or 3 threads. And yes, all of that is true, and all of that does keep your stitching very much neater. However, that being said, I have found since I'm using ballpoint needles, oops, here, I don't know if you can see the little ball on the end. Here, let's do it this way. Maybe I ought to show it a little. There you go. That you can see it a little bit better. And these are put out by Sullivan's. They come 2 in a pack. I fortunately was able to buy some through Polka Dot Stitchery before she closed her shop on. I think she had it on Facebook. I don't know that she had it on Etsy or eBay. I ordered them through her on Facebook, and I think I got like 20 of them at a time. But I will tell you, they last me longer than any needle ever has lasted me. John James needles I can only stitch with for about a week until they are severely tarnished. And yeah, I even put them through some black emery to try and shine them up again, but yeah, that didn't always work. And once they started to really tarnish, when you go through the fabric, it's hard to explain, but you feel a bit of a drag, like the needle itself drags going through the fabric. So then it's time to change your needle. Or for me, it's time to change my needle. So I could only use like a John James for a week. Bohin, I could maybe use 2 or 3 weeks. So that was an improvement. But these, I probably will lose it before I can't stitch with it any longer. I used the same needle for 6 months before I accidentally lost it. So, and it's because of that ballpoint, you're not splitting your floss. So, wait, did I not cross that right? Let me see here. You're not splitting your floss, so you don't get, your stitches still look even. And you don't get those little bumps from pulling thread back up the hole. Now, I will say, however, the eye is very small, and sometimes they are a bit difficult to thread. So if you're having trouble threading it, the first thing you want to do, and we've talked about this before, is flip the needle over so that you're trying to thread the other side of the eye, because when they punch the eye, one side is a bit wider than the other side. So flip your needle over and try that first. If that doesn't work, then probably need to alter your method of threading your needle, or get a needle threader that has a very tiny hook on it. Um, the ones that I found work very well are the micro threaders from Puff and Company. And I did find a threader. I don't think I have it here. There is some threaders on Amazon. Like it's a red or a blue disc, and it has a real tiny little hook that comes out of it. Those also work very well for threading this needle. Like I said, the eye is really pretty kind of tiny. So it's, it's a little bit of a challenge to thread them, but it, okay, go here. No, here. Okay, I marked one as stitched that I didn't really stitch. Oh, the horrors, the horrors. Okay, well, I was going to try to do this for about an hour, and we're at about 40 minutes. So I think I am going to have this be a shorter one, because I do not have anything at the moment that I am propping my arm on, and I'm trying to hold it very close to me so that I don't put too much strain on it, because that's when it hurts. It gets a little tired. Well, the more I use it, that's when I do get some discomfort in it. So I think what we will do is consider this another test. Another test of the news streaming software that I'm using. This is OBS, which is Open Broadcast Software. So I wanted to see how that is going to work. So let me flip back here to my full screen. Here we are. I wanted to see how that's going to work for us. And if you'll give me some feedback, is the sound okay? Are you getting a bit of a lag? Like, is my mouth moving differently than the words you're hearing coming from it? Let me know. Let me know. Is the sound clear? I think the picture's okay from what I can see here. I think we're all right with that. So, just let me know what I need to fix, if anything. Hopefully it is working all okay. Yeah, it was quite, well, I watched a lot of videos. Let me put it that way. I watched a lot of videos to get it set up, and I had some help from it. Pardon me, my nose itches. I had some help setting it up, or initially figuring out how to do things, from Teresa Little Stitcher. And Teresa, thank you so, so much. She was so very helpful and so very kind that, yeah, I don't know that I would have figured some of the things out without her help. So that was really very, very nice of her. So anyway, let me know if there's anything I need to fix or try and fix. And with that, I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to leave you, and I will leave you now on each of my videos with one special message. And that is the following. I have to think how it goes now. No, really, the message I have for you and hope all of you will continue to keep in mind is there are no rules in cross stitch. The only rules are the ones you set for yourself. So with that, I will say, see you next time and have a great rest of the weekend. Thanks for hanging out.